Not a ruin, not a reconstruction, a real, walkable, 650-year-old wall encircling the heart of a city of 13 million people. Xi'an's city wall is one of the best preserved ancient fortifications on Earth, nearly 14 kilometers long, 12 meters high, wide enough at the top to drive 4 cars side by side. And unlike the Great Wall, this one sits inside a living, breathing metropolis, bordered on one side by coffee shops, on the other by a moat that has existed for 6 centuries. And yet, in 1953, it came within a single decision of being torn down. Construction began in 1370, during the early Ming dynasty, the same era that produced the Forbidden City. The emperor ordered a new wall around the ancient capital, built on the ruins of an even older Tang dynasty city beneath it. The project took 8 years and hundreds of thousands of laborers. But what makes this wall extraordinary is not its scale. It is something most visitors walk right past. Crouch down near the base. Look closely at the bricks. On many of them, pressed into the clay before firing, are words, a craftsman's name, a place of origin, the name of the military unit responsible for the work. These inscriptions were not decorative. Under Ming law, every brick had to carry the mark of its source, so if a section of wall failed, the fault could be traced back. Accountability, quite literally, baked into stone. Thousands of these inscriptions survive. Xi'an Front Garrison, a Ming dynasty military unit charged with helping build the wall that defended the capital. Its soldiers lived and died 6 centuries ago. The mark of their garrison has outlasted them, recorded not out of pride, but out of sense of responsibility. There is something quietly remarkable about that. In the early 1950s, China was rebuilding itself after decades of war. Ancient city walls across the country were being demolished, seen as obstacles to traffic, remnants of a feudal past. The proposal to tear down Xi'an's wall was serious. It survived, but not for romantic reasons. The sheer volume of brick, tens of millions of them, made demolition logistically daunting. Practicality, more than sentiment, saved it. The reprieve was not clean. Sections were damaged in the decades that followed. Bricks were taken for building materials. The towers fell into disrepair. By the early 1980s, the wall was in serious decline. A major restoration program, beginning in 1983, stabilized and largely rebuilt what visitors see today. How much of the original wall actually remains and what authenticity means for a structure this old is a question with no easy answer. There is a particular quality that distinguishes ancient monuments still inhabited from those that stand alone as ruins. People who grow up alongside them tend to stop seeing them. For locals in the neighborhoods adjacent to the wall, this is not a monument. It is infrastructure, the backdrop against which ordinary life unfolds, as familiar and unremarkable as a park or a flyover. For visitors arriving from outside, the experience is entirely different. People queue for hours. Cameras come out before conversations. This tension between a structure so embedded in daily life that residents barely notice it, and so visually arresting that tourists travel across the country to see it, captures something real about what it means to live inside history rather than simply visit it. In recent years, the wall has been reimagined as a venue as much as a monument. Lantern festivals string tens of thousands of lights along its full length. Marathons run its perimeter. Concerts fill its broad upper surface. But the animation of ancient sites always involves a negotiation. When light installations go up at night, the inscribed bricks below them become harder to see. When crowds gather for festivals, the quieter details recede from view. A historical site must be loud enough to be discovered, yet quiet enough to be truly understood. The best time to visit is early morning, before the tour groups arrive, or at dusk when the light turns the bricks the color of rust and the city below begins to quiet. Rent a bicycle at one of the gates, ride the full circuit, stop at the corner towers where the wall widens into platforms that once served as command posts. And look for the inscribed bricks. They are not labeled, they are not highlighted, they are simply there, the same as they have been for 600 years. If you find one with an inscription, take a moment. Someone carried that clay, shaped that brick, pressed those marks into it under orders from an emperor they would never meet, and sent it off to become part of something that would outlast everything they knew. Their names are still here. And the wall they made is still here too. That, more than any statistic, is what makes this place worth the visit.